Guys, I want to talk about not just phantom crops farmers, but these farmers in general, and actually all miners in general. And I want to talk about the inflation and what happens. The big one, baked beans. What happens in there? I've talked about this before. Is there's something called market eggs, and market eggs are a value that only goes up. It never comes down. It even happens, on the old ones, the egg game, the B&B miner, all those older ones. That's why I'm not like that. I've seen YouTubers be like, hey, jump into the original B&B miner. Well, the problem with that is the market eggs on that contract is really high, and you'd have to have a ginormous influx of new investment into that contract for that contract balance to catch up to where the eggs are now. Those eggs have been building for a year, and they're really high. So you're not going to get nearly as much as you would get out of a new miner, basically, because the inflation went crazy and it's way high. So the way these things work, the way baked beans works is market eggs is a set value, and every time you compound, 20% of that value gets added to the market eggs. And then when you sell, 100% of the value of the sell goes into market eggs. So the selling actually created much more market eggs than the compounding, which is good. And that's why, they really said, compound, because it's better for the community to compound instead of sell, because you create less market eggs, which keeps inflation down. I saw a lot of other videos out there saying, you make more if you sell more often, and that is true. You will, in your wallet make more, but that just contributes more to inflation. It's just basic economics is you keep that value lower and you don't make as much over time, but you keep the inflation down, which keeps your rate up. And anyway, yeah, we've kind of hashed that out before. Now, what happened is a lot of people forked from that same, idea of market eggs, and that value continued going up. And that's what crops farmers does is they're similar, but let me show you the differences. So these guys, they came out and said FTM was the phantom crops farmer is the most sustainable out of all of the ones that have been released, and I can actually show you why. They didn't provide many details. It's basically to do around inflation. So first, let's look at, before we get into that, let's look at baked beans. This is the baked beans contract, and we can see that market eggs was created here. And when you sell your eggs, what happens is right here, the value of that sell goes into market eggs, so that's 100%. Now, if you went to hatch eggs, which was compound, let's look at that one. Yeah, market eggs right here, it's the value divided by 5, which is 20% would go into market eggs. So that's what was happening in baked beans. Now let's look at, sorry, I have so many, I sit there and look at these all the time and compare them. This is B&B Crops Farmer. And what they did is they have a divisor up here. Here's your egg divisor, which is 2. And then if we go down into the functions down here, let's go find, here's your hire more farmers, which is your compound. And they would do that and divide it by 2, which would add 50% more on compound instead of 20% more. And then the sell crops would do the same thing. It would do 50%. So no matter if you sold or if you compounded, it still added 50% to market eggs, which is still too much. Now, let's do a comparison I actually got this up somewhere. Here is Phantom Crops Farmer over here on the left, and this is the B&B Crops Farmer on the right. You can see they added this, they did the cell one, which is 2, and then they did the divisor of 5. So what this now does, if we come down and look in here, on the cell, it does, you know, the divisor, which is 2. And then it's probably up above here. Yeah, here's a hire more farmers, and then the market eggs add, that market eggs divisor here, instead of being 2 here, it's 5, so it's 20%. So you're creating less market eggs, similar to baked beans on compound now. So that's how they're making it more sustainable, is now in the original B&B Crops Farmer, it was 50% of eggs were created on compound and selling. Now 20% are created on higher, like compound, and 50% are created on cell. I'm not quite sure, you know, long term how sustainable this is. You know, if you really want to see something, you know, with the inflation, you know, crawling up at a slower pace, which is probably more healthy, you know, 50% of your cells and 20% is still pretty high. So anyway, I just want to bring that up. So inflation will be a lot less in the Phantom Crops Farmer than the other ones. So you're not going to see, you know, the wild swings later, and you're not going to be chasing inflation nearly as much. I think it's something that they really should have addressed before, instead of just pumping these things out. I've talked about this before. So yeah, I'll leave links to both of these. You guys can check them out if you want. B&B is still doing pretty well. I mean, it's still not like a bad thing. It's just that inflation will continue to go up. You know, you're not going to make, you know, 8-10%. They say it's going to be like 6%. They're going to change that, I think, or they already did on the B&B one. And with that, I think, I don't know. I think, you know, they say 6 to 8%. I think you're probably going to get closer to 3 or 4%. Like actually reliably, unless the balance, you know, really tanks. But with that compounding, you know, forcing people to compound, I think it's good. But I don't know, after seeing this, I'll probably put some more into Phantom Crops Farmer. It just launched today. You guys can do whatever you want. Yeah, again, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just trying to show you what's happening behind the scenes on these things, and you know, you can make your own decisions. With that, you might have seen a couple notifications pop up on my computer. I did do a poll. I was going to launch my new dApp on AVAX because I'm kind of bullish on AVAX. I think I think they've got a good way forward, but I think a lot of people are leaning towards Binance Smart Chain or Matic. So I created a poll in the community section. I'll link to it. Go ahead and vote for what you would like to see my next dApp on. I don't know. I'm starting to lean more towards Binance Smart Chain because there's a lot of dApps already in it, and you know, a lot of people are already going to have Binance Smart Chain set up in their wallets, and probably even, you know, funds there that they can use. So I'm kind of leaning towards that. So with that, go ahead and vote, and yeah, I'm getting really excited about my new dApp. I've got a lot of good things that I've added in there, and things that I'm just really looking forward to making it more sustainable and make it, you know, for the long haul. Anyway guys, go ahead and like the video if you like it, hit subscribe if you want to subscribe, and we'll catch you on the next one.